Weird struggles only males will understand.
Growing up is always challenging, but when you're a boy, it comes with some special, weird, and embarrassing moments. Here are some weird struggles that only boys will understand.
Okay.
It's almost enough to make you envy the girls every time you walk in the boys' room. They have private cubicles that they can go into and lock the door
Our bathroom.
when they need to pee.
Our bathrooms be so dirty. I don't know how dirty but girls' bathroom be, but I know ours are dirty. And then you have the urinals that have no like board blocking each urinal, so it's literally a bunch of men just right beside each other, showing each other their tips while they pee. It's crazy.
For boys and men, though, it's time for combat at the urinal. Not only do you have to find a space, but this often feels like a game of Tetris. There's nothing more awkward than standing right next to some guy you don't know at the urinal. So you better move fast in order to find a spot where no one's standing next to you and hope no one else
Besides pooing in the same stall, bruh. You ever had to share a stall with somebody because there wasn't enough stalls in the... Oh my God.
in. And it's not the only time school wants you to get up close and personal. Gym class is bad enough, especially when you got it early in the morning.
Gym class was
But then
peak.
comes the most dreaded part of gym class, the locker room. According to the teachers, it's supposed to be a retreat for you to change in and out of.
I ain't never seen people get bullied in the locker room in my gym class. Now, the locker room during football, that's something different. But gym, no one was messing with each other in gym.
Gym clothes privately. In reality, it's anything but. All it takes is one guy and the entire thing descends into a chaotic battle of snapping towels and stolen pants. Maybe the best strategy is finding a quiet corner and hoping no one notices.
Why did they go to the ground and now you're seeing just random objects getting thrown up? Y'all not stealing each other. Y'all are stealing each other's pants and then gulking on something, bro. Like, what is happening?
This is you, and then slipping away when the teacher gets mad at the chaos. But there's one area of the locker room that's even more feared. If you've ever gone into a Turkish or a Russian bath, or even your neighborhood gym, you've probably noticed people aren't very modest. Old men will just saunter into the shower naked.
They will just walk. Old men just walk around with their dinglings out like they're supposed to. Bro, cover your wang. I'm not trying to see that disgusting 2-incher just swing around with all its wrinkles and diseases.
They didn't talk about Sunday's ball game, but in school it's a very different story. Between changing bodies and bullies, it's always hard to find exactly how to act in the locker room shower. One thing's for sure, you don't want to be caught
Most
staring.
people didn't.
So
most
just
people
look at
didn't
the
use the
ceiling
shower.
and try to get
our
clean,
thing.
or maybe skip the shower altogether if being a
school.
little sweaty for math class is the better choice. It's not the only area of school where things get a little macho. You've probably been dealing with bullies for a while, starting when Tommy Jones decided to shove you down on the playground in first grade. But as boys get older, the conflicts can get a little more intense. Some words are exchanged, and then the next thing you know, someone's saying those dreaded words, fight after school. Now
They don't say that. No. Because if there's a fight after school, you're shooting each other. You either fight in school or get shot later. And sometimes when you fight in school, you're still getting shot later. It seems like no matter what, you're catching a bullet.
You gotta spend all day worrying about getting your butt kicked. And you can't exactly back out because 100 people saw it.
As soon as he started talking about fighting, the characters turned black. That's insane to me.
Even if you win the fight, you'll probably get suspended, whether you started it or not. Really, it doesn't take much to get into trouble at school. You're just sitting there at lunch trying to eat your cafeteria sloppy joe without spilling it on your shirt, and suddenly a carton of milk smacks you upside the head. It's a food fight. Soon the cafeteria's in.
Have y'all seen a food fight? There's never been a full cafeteria food fight where I'm from, bruh. That seems interesting, but that also seems so irritating. Imagine getting spaghetti on your food in its second period. I'm really gonna have to walk around with this meat on my chest?
Chaos. The principal storms in, and you're one of dozens of boys hauled to the office, even though you never hurled a single meatball. The fact is, many teachers and administrators just assume all the boys are rowdy troublemakers, and they'll just blame the whole group rather than trying to sort out who's actually guilty.
Yep.
Maybe they should invest in cameras. Of course, there's one area at school that guys struggle with more than any other.
Women.
Girls. Feels like as soon as many boys hit middle school, a switch is flipped. Suddenly, you notice that girl who showed you her favorite snails at recess last year is actually really pretty. And then you can't think about anything else. You're staring at her in class. All the world disappears, and the next thing you know, the teacher is loudly.
The next thing you know, you get an F in your test and your parents beat your ass, take your phone, so now you can't even communicate with that girl outside of school? Yeah. All the time. That happened all the time.
Calling your name and asking you a question you didn't hear. embarrassing, and you vow to pay more attention. And it works until the next time the girl of your dreams enters your line of sight. And then there's the period where the whole first date thing gets super intense. Middle school is where you get your first taste of a classic teenage tradition, the school dance. Sure, it's not as high stakes as prom. You're probably just dancing in the gym and you don't have to rent a tux, but you still gotta answer one big question: to ask someone out or not to ask someone out. Sure, you can go solo to a middle school dance and you probably won't be alone, but it's the perfect opportunity to ask out that crush. But if she turns you down or has already been asked out, it's every boy's worst nightmare. And even if she says yes, one more big hurdle awaits. There's no moment more nerve-wracking for a boy about to go on his first date: meeting the parents. Sure.
Well, they never have to meet my parents. There is no S. There's just parent. There's no S over here, baby. So we good on this side.
The mom will probably be pretty nice, but she's just playing the good cop. It's time to meet the bad cop, dear old dad. At best, he'll probably ask you some probing questions about your intentions, which are probably to look silly dancing and maybe drink a lot of punch. But if he's cleaning out his shotgun when you come in, odds are he's been watching too many old movies. But hey, could be worse. She could have 4 older brothers. And then there's this timeless dilemma. Things have changed since your dad was dating for the first time, but one question remains: do you have to pay for both you and your date when you go out? For your dad, the answer was almost definitely yes, but it's a little trickier for you, and that makes it more stressful. If you asked her out, the odds are you'll be paying if you want to look good. But if she asked you out, it's much trickier, and the check may start to feel like a game of chicken.
It's not tricky. It's not tricky at all. You asked me, you gonna pay. What we talking about? I will walk out. I have no guilt on my heart. You asked me, you pay. Whip out your wallet. Whip it out. Don't be shy. Okay, I don't bite. Whip it out.
But if you're hoping for a second date, it may be tempting to just reach for the check and look good. If you're going to see a movie instead, there are still some potential pitfalls. You probably shouldn't have seen that movie about the reincarnating dog. All you can think about is your old dog Sparky, and your date is bawling her eyes out, and you also want to. But before you tear up, remember that
so seeing a movie y'all relate to and y'all can enjoy together, whether it's enjoyment from crying, that's a bad idea. Man, don't listen to his advice, guys. Listen to me, bro.
Refrain: boys don't cry. It's not accurate, but boys are under a lot of pressure to act manly and emotionless at all times. You don't want to look like a mess in front of your date, but that dog is really getting to you.
Not me. If I feel like crying, I cry. It don't matter where I am. We don't hold tears around here. I don't care. You can look at me crazy. Tears still going down my face. I don't care, bro. What reason do I have to hold them in? Nigga, I don't know you. I don't care if you see me cry. The fuck?
At least you're in a darkened theater and can bury your head in the popcorn bucket. Your interests aren't the only thing that starts changing around this time. Your body is too. It's probably the worst fear of every boy. Your teacher's talking, and suddenly she's calling you up to the board to solve a problem.
And you got that thick thing in your pants, yo.
Just one problem. You got a pointy reminder of puberty making itself known in your pants right about now. She's not taking no for an answer, and you can't exactly explain it with the entire class watching. So now it's a long, awkward walk up to the front of the classroom, pulling your shirt down and hoping nobody looks too closely. If all goes well, you won't be the laughingstock of the class today. And that's not the only weird change you'll encounter. What's one of the most unpredictable parts of puberty for boys? Body hair. Sure, you might actually be looking forward to getting your first hairs on your chin or lip, because it makes...
But then you get those hairs around your nipples and around your butthole, and you like, damn, why is my booty so hairy? And then you start pooing, and there's just poo residue all over your booty hairs. Yup.
You look surprisingly grown up. Maybe you can get into an R-rated movie now, but it doesn't stay there. Hair starts showing up everywhere. You'll notice it on your chest, under your arms, and even there. It makes showering and getting clean trickier, and you're kind of wondering if you got bitten by a werewolf and didn't know it. Nope, just those friendly hormones.
I never seen someone that hairy.
And then there's one change that becomes obvious to everyone. Maybe you had a high-pitched voice as a little boy.
Yeah, I remember, voice cracks, bro. You just be speaking and you just be talking and your words can't go out, yo.
Boy, it's common. It also helped out a lot in the school choir. And then suddenly, like a switch was flipped, it starts cracking. At first, you have a weird squeaky voice that goes up and down, and by the time it's done, your voice is deeper and sounds completely different from your old one. And those songs you used to sing kind of sound like a slowed down cover. And you're being chased out of the choir room. Hormones pretty commonly wreak havoc on the voices of boys as they hit puberty. And unfortunately for that record contract, there's really no going back. And if you have some questions, that's when things get even more awkward. Your body is changing, son. It's time we had a talk. It's the words that strike fear in every boy. Because you know you and your dad are about to have the most awkward
Y'all about to sit down and talk about penis. And vagina. Ew!
Conversation in both of your lives. Odds are he'll fumble over some explanations that leave you with more questions than you
Dad, what the hell are you what the hell you have in my face right now?
started with, and he's probably relying on that same book his dad used to explain it to him. Maybe you would have been better off waiting for the sex ed class in school. But go easy on the guy, he's probably repeating that same lame speech his dad gave to him. Of course, maybe you decided to try to figure some of this out for yourself. It's one of the time-honored rituals of being a teenage boy, searching.
Oh, he's playing like 18 plus games, so he about to play like GTA, Call of Duty. He's playing rated M games, chat. That's all he's doing. That's all he's doing. Nothing else. Nothing else.
The internet for some things you probably shouldn't be looking for. There's just a few things to be careful of. Make sure you're not visiting any website that has viruses lurking, and that's probably all of them for this subject. Make sure to be ready to close the window quickly should mom or dad come into the room if you're a little.
Why you afraid of your mom catching you playing GTA? GTA and COD are good games. You should be scared.
Older, you probably have memories of getting your information from a more low-tech option. Dad's old adult mags that he kept under the bed. But there are a few other things that every boy can eventually relate to, and some of them are pretty painful. That body hair is growing fast, and you've even started to get that 5 o'clock shadow. But that's kind of awkward when you're still a freshman. Time to break out that shaving gear for the first time. Exciting. There's just one problem. How do you get through your first shave without cutting off half your face? Hopefully you've got a good.
Don't be an idiot. It's not that hard, bro. Shaving is not that difficult. They be gassing it, bro. They be gassing it. Shaving is not hard. 5 o'clock shadow. 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 6 o'clock shadow makes more sense considering 6 is all the way down, but I guess, okay.
Teacher and a steady hand, but the odds are you're gonna get some nicks, and they probably won't be half as painful as when the aftershave hits your skin. Of course, there's one pain that comes above all others. You've probably taken a hit or two to the balls over the years, and just thinking about it makes you tear up.
I got balls of
that's
steel, so I've never been
compared to the
scared.
nightmare of every boy.
I got a real solid foundation of testicles. So I've not once been scared to get hit in the balls because I know I got it down there. I know that I'm mentally, physically prepared. I know I'm emotionally prepared to take the kicks.
Mature zip.
I train.
You're done peeing, you're in a hurry, and your penis decides to make an unfortunate reappearance just as you're zipping. This is egg.
I don't wear jeans. That doesn't happen. But I do remember there was a whole movie about getting your dingling zipped up in jeans, and they were trying to get it out. That scarred me, bro. Scarred me. But I was like, he was gonna talk about when you put your dingling up, and all of a sudden it start leaking some more. Like, you sit there and you wait for 30 seconds to see if there's anything left. You're like, okay, cool, I'm good. You put it back in, droop. Hate it.
Agonizingly painful in the best of times, an embarrassing hospital visit at the worst. Hopefully this is just a permanent fear after seeing it happen to Ben Stiller in the movies and not an actual reality. But some injuries are avoidable, not that it helps. Odds are most boys will have some interesting injury stories. Maybe you tried to joust with a hornet's nest or decided to test the speed of a sled down Doomsday Hill. And odds are it all began with one of your friends saying, "I dare ya." So why?
A black man wouldn't do that. False representation. Change that man to a Caucasian right now.
The boys keep on making less than ideal decisions. Peer pressure and adrenaline. Your mom probably warned you a few dozen times, but somehow in the heat of the moment, the excitement always feels worth the scars.
Yeah.
At least it'll make a cool story at school the next day. For more,
it's not. No one truly cares.